You've heard it your entire life. Save for retirement, save more, cut expenses. But what if I told you that retiring well isn't just about saving? Today, I'm sharing 6 smart purchases to make before you retire. Moves that save money, reduce stress, and make retirement far more enjoyable. I've watched so many people obsess over saving while ignoring the other pieces that actually make retirement work. Most people treat retirement like a giant math problem. How much do I need and how do I get it? But hold on. Retirement isn't only about accumulating money. It's about positioning yourself to actually enjoy the life you're stepping into. And some expenses are simply better handled while you're still working and have some benefits. So let's walk through those now. The actions you can take today that will make life better later, because the biggest part of a successful retirement is planning well. And I've got a story about a client who didn't do this, and it ended up costing him far more in the long run. More on that in a bit. Let's start with something very important that most people push off for various reasons. Purchase number 1 is medical and dental work. But here's the thing. When you're retired, you're likely on Medicare, or if you're self-employed like me, you pay a lot of money for crappy insurance. The not so great truth is that it doesn't always cover everything you want or need when it comes to medical and dental work. So if you need things like crowns or dental implants, hip or knee evaluations or replacements in my case, or preventative screenings, these are all things you're much better off paying for when you're still a W-2 type employee with hopefully some benefits. It may not seem like fun money to spend, but doing these things before you retire and still have a steady income and good insurance always pays off in the long run. And by the way, the client I mentioned, dental, didn't take care of it before he retired, and it ended up costing him over 20 grand after he retired. He told me, I had the Cadillac of dental insurance plans. It covered everything, but I waited because I thought it would be easier when I wasn't working. I really regret it. Next up, if you own a home, listen closely. The older you get, the harder and more expensive home maintenance becomes. Why? Well, for starters, you probably shouldn't be getting on ladders anymore or breaking your back in the yard either. So if you don't take care of these things yourself, chances are you'll still end up paying someone to do it all later. We're talking about purchase number 2, home repairs and renovations. I know, super fun. And the thing is, when it comes to larger scale expenses like these, $4,000, $8,000, sudden costs are often a lot for retirees to handle. So things like roof replacements, windows, HVAC updates, plumbing issues, these are all things that are much better off addressed before you retire and your income goes away. And it's not just about money either. When you're older, life is different. Sometimes you're preoccupied with managing health issues, medications, or caring for a loved one. So many clients have told me how incredibly smart it is to tackle those bigger home items when your life is less complicated and you've still got the income to support it all. And believe me, future you will thank present you for not putting that slightly leaking roof off till later in the future. This next one is a big one, and that's because it makes such a difference when it comes to the quality of retirement you're able to enjoy. This is purchase number 3, which is buying your home or getting a mortgage in place before you retire. Plain and simple, it is far easier to qualify for a mortgage if you still have an active W-2 income. I've seen too many people shocked because they struggled to get a loan in retirement. Even if you have excellent credit or a great retirement nest egg, the second these lenders see that you no longer have a steady income, they start to see you just a little bit differently, and not in a good way. So this is something that you absolutely want to address during the phase of your life when you're still working and you're still viewed as a safe recipient for a loan. So moving, downsizing, relocating, all these things are best done before you actually retire. And what does this do? Not only does it increase your options when it comes to housing, it will also save you a significant amount of stress, which is nice. This next one is in the same wheelhouse as the last one and equally as important. Purchase number 4 is buy a reliable car or pay off the one you have. Look, just because you're retired, that doesn't mean you're going to stop going places. In fact, you're probably going to be driving even more in retirement. This is one of those costs that is so much better to get ahead of while you still have an income. And please, think of it like this. The absolute last thing you're going to want in your 70s or 80s is to be dealing with costly car repairs or a dangerous vehicle. So this is kind of a no-brainer. Set yourself up with a reliable, low-maintenance car and pay it off before you retire. Let's move on with a purchase nobody really wants to deal with. Purchase number 5, we'll call it a comprehensive estate and digital legacy plan. It's overlooked, it's practical, emotionally meaningful, and saves your family money, stress, and conflict. Plus, it's something that most pre-retirees procrastinate on. Here's what I've noticed helping hundreds of families retire successfully. Many of these families are sitting with outdated documents, frozen accounts, where simple planning mistakes are costing them thousands. Here's what I want you to focus on. Most people think estate planning is just like a will, but it's also much bigger than that. You need your will, trust, powers of attorney, and all your beneficiaries updated. That's a big one, beneficiaries. But also you need the modern stuff, passwords, digital accounts, subscription, cleanups, even who can access your cloud storage. And here's the stat that shocks me. 70% of Americans don't have an up-to-date estate plan. And the truth is this is far cheaper to set up while you're still earning and dramatically easier to do now than under the pressure of illness, stress, or a family crisis of some sort. And lucky for you, I saved my favorite purchase for last. This is purchase number 6, which is planning and paying for travel early. So we know that travel is one of the biggest joys of retirement, but what I'm about to tell you will probably come as a bit of a surprise. I've seen so many retirees cancel their dream trip or never even plan it at all once they've entered retirement. And this is largely psychological. You're retired, your big W-2 income is now gone. And suddenly going on a costly trip, and believe me, Italy and Paris, pricey, feels irresponsible. So now after waiting your entire life to have the freedom to travel, you've got cold feet and you back out. The whole goal of spending more when you're younger and healthier out the door. So book the trip before you retire. Not only will you lock in lower prices, you'll also set yourself up with the experience you deserve. This is my favorite piece of advice because I believe so strongly in the fact that retiring well isn't just about saving. It's also about giving yourself permission to fully enjoy this period that you have so richly earned. All of these things are smart spending decisions that not only protect your savings later, but also promote your happiness and well-being now. And that's a win-win. That's retiring well. But it's not only about what you should buy. For more tips, check out my video about 9 things to stop buying after 50 for a happy retirement. It's somewhere here on this screen. And thanks for watching.